I suppose y'all want music on the next one, right?
Yeah, that was intense.
Oh, what do we got? Oh no, who's got vertical? Turn that vertical crap off.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
Roger that. Fixing it. That's me. Sorry.
And we'll get that Spam City.
Rookie.
We've been testing that a couple last nights. Good evening, world.
Hey, world.
We're going to try to. Okay, so let's just get right down to brass tacks here. So this hit me a few days ago about Battle of the Bulge Games, and of course I posted this video this stream 3 or 4 days ago, and I've been watching some of the comments on some of the Facebook pages, and awesome comments. A lot of people. I think we've had some say because it's fun. Because one side gets to attack, then the other side gets to counterattack. So I saw another person say that this was America's greatest World War II battle victory, and a few other things on there. But I don't think anybody really knows where I'm going with this. So I was setting up a game a few nights back, and I played only 2 turns in it. And I've had this chit chat with Camp and with Todd here. I said, what would happen to our train of thought on Battle of the Bulge Games if you took the game out of the box, you didn't look at the map, you didn't look at the starting units, you just pushed all that aside, and you laid out the reinforcements? With that being said, I think I'm going to go ahead and take all my Battle of the Bulge games and sell them or send them to Noble Knight. I'm done playing Battle of the Bulge games because there's no possible way to play that game and ever have the Germans, the Axis, even have a chance. So what's the use in playing the Battle of the Bulge games? We're going to discuss that tonight. Why play something you're not going to win from one side?
Okay, perfect. Well,
Any initial thoughts on this?
Well,
I'm saying, why? Why play them? Why make any more? Can you name one out there that I can play where the Germans, because I think I've had one game I played where the Germans had, I think they won by a victory point count. And I hate to say what game it is I played that happened in, because we know it's not my favorite.
Well, what was it?
Ardennes 44.
Oh, wait, the Germans won in that one?
Yeah. It was I think it was the victory point count for towns taken or something like that.
I didn't get that far in it. Kevin and I both have a game the Germans won very quickly.
I'm just dying to hear this.
Kev, do you remember what game you won in 2 turns?
Oh,
I was going back and looking at some videos as I was thinking about a game, and I found one of yours. I don't even know how long ago you played it, but you won it in 2 turns. And I was looking at my videos like, wait, I won it in 2 turns too.
Oh, it must have been an SCS game.
Mm-mm.
No, what was it then?
Deadly Woods.
Oh, the Deadly Woods. Yeah. Well, there you go. That explains everything.
Safe to say he won't play that one anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, nice background, Jeff. Yeah, I was just kind of going back and like, why? So I remember playing it. I like chit pull games. I like that sort of thing. Why did I not want to keep that? I gave it back to Jeff. He loaned it to me. And the first bit, I was like, so I always sometimes go back and watch my own videos. Like, hey, what was I thinking? I was like, oh, I think I just was like, So Jeff, I won as the Germans, but I still was like, I don't want to keep this.
Well, okay, so all right.
Well, that's any game. But,
you all are going to be my therapists tonight. Okay. So I've gone through all my Battle of the Bulge games. At least I think I have games that have, a full campaign, and I can't seem to scratch my head to remember. Did any of these have like smaller scenarios that I could play in these big games?
Last Blitzkrieg does.
Okay, so these are the only 3 that I've got left, and of course these are beasts.
Yeah.
I did start last Blitzkrieg once with LBW. I think we played a turn or 2, and then that just never panned out. I haven't touched Time for Trumpets, and I haven't touched Last Gamble yet. Of the 3 sitting here, I could probably pick up Last Blitzkrieg and start playing it, and get going because I know BC has these set up. But I think I really want to mess around with Last Gamble. I'm not enthused about Time for Trumpets yet because I think he took every Battle of the Bulge game, and I said this the other night, he took every Battle of the Bulge game that he's made over the years, many, many years, and I think he crammed everything into that box right there. And I just, while it's lovely looking and everything, I don't really hear too many people said a whole bunch of uplifting stuff about it. That it's too much of a nightmare to get through, and Although I've seen some people playing it. I got a buddy down the road that played it 3 or 4 times. So, but with Bruno. So, but I'm going to pass this. But I really want to get Last Gamble. Kev, I know you've had Last Gamble on the table. It's been a while. It's been a few months that you've had it. I mean, favorable, not favorable? Did it work for you? I mean, can you play the campaign and have some fun with it, or do you need to break that down in scenarios?
So I haven't played the campaign. I played a small early scenario, and then there is the high watermark scenario. And I played some of that, but not all of it. And you strike the typical bulge issues that are prevalent, but I like the system because the system makes me feel that both sides have an relatively equal set of rules, and it's going to come down to gameplay skill and using the rules to your advantage. Terrain is massively important in that game. It's a game changer. It's unique from that perspective. So I'm eager to play that campaign game just because Suck Up a Punishment. And also, as I said off camera, I said I'm hoping that I'll play the last Blitzkrieg next and do the full campaign for that, or at least a two-mapper. Like
I think
stuff.
Tabletop's Edge is the only guy that's that I've seen that's gone after the last Blitzkrieg full bore and actually put stuff up. And Tom, I think we were talking about that. We haven't even looked to see if did he ever get to the end of that, or did he take it down?
Yeah, he got to a conclusion point. I watched his last one. I think he made it to the. Well, actually, that's a good question. No, he made it pretty far, like far enough where I think he could determine.
Yeah, well, and I think then he ran in, because I know that Piper's little spearhead got all jammed up in the northeast corner.
Sure.
And I think he ran into the same problem playing last Blitzkrieg. I want to say that he didn't. I think my dilemma is okay. So we know that the little corporal's objective was obviously Antwerp, split the Allied nations in two, and get them to withdraw and yank themselves from the war because they couldn't talk to each other anymore. And I know a lot of his overall commanders were like, let's attempt to do something a little less drastic. Let's aim for smaller goals.
Yep,
and of course, we know that wasn't going to happen. Yep. So, but I've yet to play a game where I've been able to even get close to getting across the Meuse River. And I don't know of one yet. I mean, if I would think that the last Blitzkrieg might be the one that could do it because of the way the movement in that game. But it just seems to me that looking at the influx, and of Allied reinforcements, and I've watched a couple documentaries here recently. I love to watch World War II TV. I love to watch the Indian Idol stuff. Tick doesn't really do anything on the Bulge, but the influx. I know that the Americans didn't want Monty involved, but Ike made a decision to give Monty control of the northern part of this. And I know Bradley wasn't happy with that because they were like, we don't need the UK, we don't need the Brits, we can handle this on our own. And they actually never really did. I mean, Monty actually made some great suggestions that I think Bradley and them conceded to doing some of that stuff, but they never really got involved till I think maybe towards Celle at the farthest point that the Germans reached. And the Americans handled themselves. But I look at these games and I see this influx of Allied reinforcements, and I'm just like, why am I even playing this crap?
Yeah, well, I mean, if you look at the whole plan, and I'd love to hear from Ross and Alan, but you look at the whole plan, right? It was supposed to be 38 divisions, and it was supposed to be all this fuel and all this ammo and this big sweeping sickle cut thing. And, it's a great idea, but it was, run by the corporal, and it was not well executed, and it struck all sorts of problems and no air support. And, they planned it for bad weather, so they didn't have to deal with air support from the Allies, and Luftwaffe delivered zero. So it was doomed from the start, right? So you're right. Why play it? Well, because it's interesting and it's American success.
Go ahead, Alan, please.
Yeah, I was going to say just kind of a little bit of different thought, because I'm more limited. I mean, you guys have played a lot of the operational Bulge stuff, and I'm more of a tactical guy, of course. But I have played some, and you mentioned Ardennes 44, which I played I think about three games of that. And one of the things, looking at kind of some of the Simonich's games there, that make that a little bit more interesting, because I think they have more than just kind of the spearhead, go for broke, Antwerp or bust type of thing, where you can, as I think you pointed out, Jeff, pick up victory points from the towns and kind of look at more of a sweeping aspect to it. So there's a little bit different avenue to it over there. My personal opinion, if I'm looking at, straight ahead, spearhead attack right to Antwerp, it's going to fail with all those reinforcements you talk about in any game. It's just going to fail, because you're just going to put up a brick wall someplace in the woods, and that's going to be it. But I think spacing it out, for me at least, to say there's other ways that you can actually potentially win, that are plausible and kind of realistic, kind of help play multiple Bulge games. If that makes sense to folks.
100%. And I mean, I'm really thinking about the scenario, which we're gonna go down that road about playing scenarios, and maybe there needs to be a game. Like I said, though, there's a few I haven't touched, but maybe there needs to be somebody to make a game that has many smaller footprint scenarios. But then I thought to myself, well, God, if you do that, man, you got some of these great monster Bulge games that you're just tossing the format campaign out the door or whatever, if you're just going to play a whole bunch of small scenarios. I mean, I'm not sure, for me, what the solution is going to be for that. So the game that I'm playing, Wave of Terror. So when I set it up, of course, this is a Ty Bomba, and somebody else, I think, had this one. When I set it up, I started reading the rules, which are only 16 pages, and really only about 11 of them are actually game rules. And I noticed no zone of control. And I thought to myself, that kind of makes sense for the Ardennes. Weather was crappy, terrain was crappy. There was a lot of, I'm sure there was a lot of documentation of units just getting bypassed and not even knowing they were getting bypassed, and plenty of spaces to move through, not a whole lot of roads and stuff. But I said, okay, well, that zone of control thing, maybe that makes sense, and maybe that's going to give this game, it'll give the Axis the opportunity to make these little breakouts and move to their objectives, move to those river crossings. But I played through 2 turns of this thing now, and I thought after the first turn, okay, there's some potential here. We've created some holes. Now let's get to moving. And then boom, 10th Armored, 9th Armored, 1st Infantry Division, 9th Infantry Division, 2nd Infantry Division, other units just start pouring onto the map on the 17th, the second game turn. And I'm like, okay, no, sorry. I'm going to shoot a video on this tomorrow. I'm going to post it. The game's coming down, and I'm moving on to something else. Anybody else played Wave of Terror? Anybody else ever seen Wave of Terror? I don't even know who it's made by anymore.
Todd, you're on mute.
One of our commenters has, but yeah, I had never heard of it before until you said something about it.
Yeah, it's an XTR Corporation, which they've got a couple Civil War games that I've got that I actually quite enjoy.
Sounds like a made-up 1980s game company name.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the most gorgeous map, but it's not an ugly map for when it was made. But I really thought I had one here. So now I'm going to backtrack, and I'm going to say, of all the Battle of the Bulge games, I used to say that SPI's Bach am Rhein forever was my favorite Battle of the Bulge game. Just something about it. I liked it. Of course, it's funny because, Kev, I remember you asking me a question. I want to say it was about, even with the artillery rules or something like that, I think you mentioned to me or something about that. And I had not played it since I was much younger. Matter of fact, I think the last time I played it before this last year was in Germany in the 80s. I took it with me. And when I played it again here not too long ago, I was like, God damn it, he was right. This game is not as efficient as it could be. So it went out the door. Now, a game that I have played that I actually enjoyed on the Bulge was a smaller game called Bastogne or Bust.
Mm.
And I actually had a lot of fun with that. It had off-board movement, off-map movement, even for the Germans. It had off-map stuff where you could get victory points for moving off-map into exits, certain areas to the north and south of the map, mostly to the north. But yeah, but I'm just not finding it, guys. I mean, I need to find something. I need to find a solution, or actually, just not going to play Battle of the Bulge games anymore. I got to find an outlet for this. So I thought maybe we could talk a little bit too about how about some favorite Bulge games? What are some good Bulge games? I'd like to hear from the audience too. And what you guys find that's good for the Battle of the Bulge?
Jeff, before people are posting games they like, but I see at least a couple people, Leslie Davis, some others, who I agree with. That first of all, I've never played a Bulge game, so I can't weigh in exactly. But winnability or balance, however you want to phrase it, is pretty low on my list of what I even look for initially. Do you get a sense of the terrain and the limitations that creates operationally, strategically, tactically? It seems like looking at the maps, all these awesome snow maps and stuff, big forest maps, yes, you get that. That's much higher on my list. I'm more inclined to not care about, oh, if I play the Germans, I have no chance of winning this. If it gives some sense of what decision points there were, or what some of the challenges were, or the inevitability of losing becomes obvious. If that's what really happened, that is a learning experience in the game too. I think that has value, and I think some of the people in the audience are echoing that too. That's where I'm at. Right. And that's not having played any. I don't know. Spending 20, 30 hours playing something that is kind of a scripted. Maybe It doesn't sound super exciting, but it's still, as a learning experience, it seems like it would have value.
Yeah. I want to see those instances where, 2nd Panzer Division, Lear, 116th, 26th Volksgrenadier, or 26th, where, they hit Bastogne, and the 101st and some of the armor commands that got encircled. I've not played one where I've had that happen. Maybe with the exception of the first Ardennes from MMP, the SCS game, that's actually one that I do enjoy, is playing that. I don't care for the second one. I didn't like the second one at all. But I think I did have that situation there. But I'm most other Bulge games that I played, I'm not getting any of that. I'm not getting any potential breakout. Granted, weather sucked and the environment sucked, but I'm not getting any potential breakout in any other game that I've played where I can get those motorized or those mechanized forces moving for the Germans and cause some disruption, because they did it even in bad weather, even though they got stumped and placed in check down the road, but they were still able to get some spearheads out and moving. And I'm just not getting that in any games. I just want to know, is there one out there that I can find that with, and I'm going to get. And I get your point about, hey, if we play the game to see how the actual battle went down, the historical events went down, okay, fine. But I've always said that I'm one of those, give me the setup, give me the victory conditions, and let me go. Let me do my thing with it. And I'm just not, with a lot of other games I play, different things happen. I'm not getting that out of Bulge games. And that's why these questions are coming to my head. Why am I even playing them?
Right.
Well, one thought comes to mind, Jeff. I mean, it's the same old thing with all games. We have kind of God's eye view of, the battle itself. Do you think you need more fog of war in that, so that the Germans have a better opportunity to drive in, and the Americans just don't know what's going on, for a time being?
Yeah, but it's like many games. So we could look at the entire Eastern Front. We have the same conclusion. We know that in 1944 there's going to be 4 Brazilian divisions and a handful of 75-year-old men trying to shoot Panzerfausts, right? So it's a walkover. OCS is trying to deal with that by making the victory conditions very difficult to achieve for both sides, actually. And so that gives you some level of interest in trying to play. It's got me more excited about playing 1944 games than I've ever been, because it's not just a static World War I type of front thing where the Soviets advance 2 hexes every 40 turns or something like that, right? But Stalingrad and Kursk and D-Day. D-Day is a foregone conclusion. There's probably very few games out there you're going to see the Allies push back into the ocean, if any. That's just not going to happen. So if we run down that logical conclusion, we wouldn't play any war games, because we kind of know what happens, right? And we know the designers are going to at least present us with a tableau of opportunities, but they're going to put some rails around it to a certain extent. And so for the Bulge, for you, Jeff, I think The Last Gamble has more flexibility, more optional rules, more what if rules. There's actually some in a magazine that's either out or coming out, I think Paper Wars. Additional incremental things, that try and look at the big picture of what were the Germans trying to achieve, how important really was that whole battle, because really it's not Kursk, it's not Stalingrad, it's not D-Day. It's kind of a million men fought, but okay. And it lasted for 3 or 4 weeks. That's nice. And they stopped the Germans, and the Germans were never going to be successful anyway. So it's not really a massively pivotal, historically important game. It just happens to be that Yanks drove it, ran it, and won it, and did a good job of it, generally speaking, after being surprised and caught flat-footed. So to me, I like playing them, but there comes a point when you see those waves of green Yanks hitting the map. I remember with last Blitzkrieg when like I think 3 divisions, it might have been 30th Division, a bunch of other divisions came pounding down towards Piper and the gang, and I was like, oh, this is just bullshit. I'm not playing this anymore. It's just stop. Right, it's over. There's no way I can do that. I failed my morale check.
Well, yeah, okay, so yeah, I guess it's kind of cool to see. Okay, so you set the game up, pretty much any Bulge game, and we know the Allies they're going to overwhelm eventually. They're going to overwhelm the German forces. I don't want to say that the initial overall plan wasn't. The plan itself probably was not a bad idea if he'd have had what he had in 1940. But basing something off of, well, you kind of got a time limit on this, or we're not going to have the supplies. Oh, you're going to need to take Allied supplies in order to make, basing around that. I don't mind the overall plan of Antwerp splitting the Allies in half, but even starting that without really having, you look at the reinforcement tables for the Germans, and you're like, man, they don't even have enough in there,
right?
To
right.
react.
But they've lost it. But they plan to have it. But they lost so much in Aachen and Herken Forest and all those guys further north. They lost battalions and battalions and battalions of guys trying to stop the Yanks from advancing. So they had planned to have 38 divisions. They end up having 30.
Right.
That's a what if for you.
All right, so I guess it's got to go down the road of and the ASL that was on. There's a ton of scenarios where you can play, take something smaller, and get an option for both. You go. Let's go back to Ardennes in 1940. I know that if I play a France 40 type game, any of them that I played, that that the Allies, they actually have the ability to stall this, to change that outcome, but they were not command efficient enough, we'll say, to do it, or they were just unaware of the. I guess apparently they were unaware of the capability they had to throw against the Germans in 1940.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas I don't really think that the Allies in 1940. Granted, some of the stories are just phenomenal about the things that went down during the Bulge.
Yep.
But in the back of my head, and I think in the back of all these leaders' heads, and even though I think I'll go with Omar Bradley. I think all along the Allies knew, okay, this is kind of silly that this they've surprised us in an area that we didn't think that they would. And but you know what? This is nothing we can't handle. We're going to trash them. And I think the Allies, they had to know that, or else they probably would have want the UK forces. They would have want Monty and the Brits to get headlong into this fight. But I think they honestly knew that they didn't need it. Even with the surprise on the 16th of December, I think the Allies knew they didn't need any support. So, well, what have you guys played Bulge-wise? I know what Kev likes. Kev, you're playing a lot of this Race to Bastogne. I know Todd likes Race to Bastogne. There's a ton of scenarios in that, right? But that's all focused around Bastogne and the outlying villages.
Yeah. It's 3 divisions. And then the 101st and I think 82nd as well. I don't know. I have to look at it.
Yeah.
I haven't got that far.
But it's focused on a small part where, it's not worried about the whole. You can win that, if you want to say it like that, because, you're fighting for a little area there. It's just like, it's the same game as SCS Bastogne Screaming Eagles. It's the same exact game, essentially.
Right.
If you want to play it faster, Kev, you want to get tired of GTS. Not that you would get tired of GTS. You can just remember to go to that SCS.
Well, I've played that game opposed 5 or 6 times, the Bulge one. Yeah, that's
one of Andrew's favorite ones is Bastogne.
Yeah, it's a great little game.
It's a fun little game. I'll bet the SCS.
As I was thinking about this conversation, I thought, you know what? I have never played a Bulge game all the way to I don't know, whatever, into December, early January.
Right.
Usually because either I play like on Iron Tide, I just played purposely played the 6-turn tournament scenario just to get a feel for the system, and I never played it before, and I wanted to get those reps in there. So very purposeful to do that. And even that, like if I had been playing the whole campaign, I would have stopped probably, because if the Germans don't make some sort of progress, which I was not, then there's no really point to playing it, because it's like they're not even
right. You're not on track, right? And once you get off track, you're done.
Yeah. So now I get it to where, like, say that I had made good progress, I was almost to the Muse, and then the Allies are coming. Then you should play it, because then it's like, okay, now can the Allies really push them back enough or block them out or whatever they need to do? But I just realized, like, usually it's just going so bad for the attacker, because I'm oftentimes soloing it, that I just stopped there. I think Ardennes 44, I only played like a couple turns and who knows what happened. Maybe I just I got distracted and sold it and bought it 4 more times or something. But
I still think it's Zockbond that gets me on those games.
I don't think you're not a Zockbond guy, pretty much.
Yeah, what's your problem, Jeff? I'm just now dipping my toe in Zockbond, and I'm going in deep on it. I'm way into it.
I get the premise of it. You're not overwhelming the game with counters. Yeah. More counters than necessary. And of course I know from being a scout in the military that we could take 6 vehicles and we could cover a 5-mile front in a screen line. So I understand. Let's minimize the overwhelming amount of counters on a game map.
Right.
We can get a smaller footprint, and you're going to apply zone of control in a different format. But I think that's one of those rules in a game that, granted, I understand how it works and what it means, but I could be in the middle of playing in a pretty tense, vital situation or a battle or something, whatever, or an engagement, and I forget it. And then I violate the premise of the rule of the game, and I've accomplished something that should not have been allowed to have been accomplished because I skipped by a rule that I can't seem to maintain in my head.
So you're not looking for the Zockbonds, so you're doing stuff that's like ignoring them, basically.
Yeah, you don't think about it at that moment. And we have things in every game we play that we sometimes slip by. AFL's got to be one of the biggest ones. But I really think it's the Zockbond, because I never say that whole Simonage series is bad. That's a great system, great series of games, and I still have 3 of them. France 40s, I love that game, and I still got the North Africa 41 over there. I still got Ukraine 43, and I still got Salerno. I did not buy Italy because, like I say, the system just doesn't. There's other things I'd rather play.
So France 40 is pretty determined. Why do you play that? And Zockbond.
Yeah.
It's funny because me, I prefer Eastern Front.
Oh, right.
Something about the operations in 1940 on the Western Front. Where in 44, okay, so to me, what's the difference from 44 to 40 is either force limitation, I guess, but is I love mobility. In 1940, the Germans used the hell out of mobility.
So why aren't you an OCS player then? Why aren't you playing what is it? What's the
Blitzkrieg Legend?
Blitzkrieg Legend.
like
I mean that's an epic game, and even Guderian's Blitzkrieg 2 and Case Blue. I know it's big, but Case Blue, they're so dynamic. The little Smolensk game, that's super dynamic. You would love those. It's all about maneuver.
Well, I sold my Case Blue.
It's a bad
I still
idea.
have all the other OCS games.
Right.
I did
sold
not
my Case
order
Blue.
the latest one, though. I mean,
I
still
sold my
have-
Case Blue too, actually. So
I wasn't going to play that, but I don't knock OCS, but I mean, if I'm going to choose, I'm going to play BCS over OCS. I'm going to play EFS over OCS if the people that I played online wouldn't cheat me and playing Vassal EFS.
I didn't cheat you. You just played that. You quit.
That's my excuse.
He's playing more Vassal now.
Will he play Vassal? Will he play Vassal with me one day? I'll play you EFS.
I'm getting attached to Vassal now. I'm starting to do more where, I mean, we're all of us here. That's what we're doing a lot of stuff. And now that I'm getting the hang of it and I can manipulate or operate the program a little better, it's and I've already come to the conclusion that I think Last Gamble, I want to play the Fall Blau campaign. It's going to have to be on Vassal because I'm not putting my monster table back up. I'm content with what I got over there right now. So I can see any big games. Like I know when I get to this Last Gamble, maybe I'll set up a one map where I can play a scenario to get used to it. But if I go to play the big game, it'll be on Vassal. So that's not. You're retired now, though, dude. You got like all kinds of time. I don't have all that time.
Well, I mean, here's look. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I don't really feel like I've been working very hard for the last few years anyway, so it's not really a change. Don't tell anybody that. I don't want anyone to say, "Hey, by the way, I want some money back."
I have not, Sleepy. I definitely have not played a Zombon game, but I will tell you, I've been having a lot of fun with the stuff that we've all been playing on Vassal and watching you guys. Todd and Ross played the ASL, which they need to do again because people really like that. But yeah, I'm getting it. I know Alan Camp and I are going to do a whole lot of stuff we got planned. He's doing this Panzer Grenadier thing right now, so I'm gonna I'm getting an itch for that. I only own the first box in that, but the Bulge is just one of those things that and other people were saying, Gettysburg, Waterloo, D-Day, the Bulge, all these major fights that if you ask somebody that really doesn't know a whole lot about history, you still probably got a good percentage that they're going to know Gettysburg. They're going to know Waterloo. They're going to know the Battle of the Bulge. I mean, they're going to know it by name. Maybe they don't know nothing about it. And it's one of those intriguing last resort efforts where, the United States just proved how resilient and how stalwart they were. And I think that, with what Russia was doing to Germany and what we were doing in 1944, you knew that once that occurred, this was over. This war was going to come to an end and not too much longer. But it just shows, American resiliency, I think, Allied resiliency in that. And you got to play them. And I don't want to not. I've got a bunch of Bulge games. I got a ton of them over there. I might have a couple hidden that I've not pulled out of the box and looked at yet. I thought Wave of Terror was the last one that I had that was small.
You played Celis?
Yeah. Actually, that wasn't too bad.
That's a really good game, I think. I like that system. But he has a Gazala one as well.
Yeah. All the stuff he did for Revolution Games. Yeah. I think I got the Gazala one floating around.
I mean, and sometimes the battle just isn't interesting to you. So, I mean, in that level, maybe it is down in the tactical. I didn't used to play Bulge games until I read a couple books. I think Snow and Steel by Adams and another one I can't remember. And I was like, oh, now I see why people are interested in this. Just because we have a lot of stories, we have a lot of information on that battle. So it just okay, now this is interesting. So I kind of started diving in. It is, I mean, it's hard to play any big campaign game of anything. Like even Norman, I mean, it's all like, oh wow, I just want to keep. So I like.
I have the luxury to to throw it up and leave it up. But I mean, we know over the last few months I've been struggling with actually getting anything tabled and sticking with it and playing out until I hit Fall Blau. And we've had this discussion go back and forth about that system and why the hell we didn't like it earlier, and why we like it now, and why so many people don't like it. But I'm wondering. Well, the one you just played, but I'm wondering if there's any newer made Bulge games that revolve around that system. I don't think there is.
I don't think there is.
VC. Wait. Well, Fall Blau was VCS, right? The Variable Combat System. Yeah.
Yeah, or Victory in the West, however you want to say it. It's kind of
the same. Well, Iron Tide is that game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it's 2003.
Yeah. Well, okay, but I don't know how bad the OB is, but if the OB is accurate enough, then because you have to play that game. The game you were just playing, Todd, you have to play. I played that opposed like 3 or 4 times.
Okay.
I was at quota on ever playing that game again. I got so frustrated because you have to move correctly and keep things in formations together, but you can't because of the roads, and it's like it can be very frustrating. We were playing the campaign game like three or 4 times, a couple of times with the physical bits, and then I played it on Vassal twice. But really, really good game. Actually, I would say you should get that. It's $40. It's a couple of maps. Is it 2 maps or 3?
It's 2 maps, but it's 1 map, but it's bigger. It's a bigger
map there, and then there's a big support. There's a big reinforcement map as well, I think.
No, it was the play aid card is humongous. That's the other.
That's what I'm talking about. The play aid card. Yeah.
I really enjoyed it, and someone said I didn't have enough chrome on it. I mean, what I've told everybody is like a level above SCS. Like it's pretty easy, but there's a lot of little details, like you're saying, like keep stuff together, the battalion movement around. I don't know the OB that well, but it sure seemed pretty accurate to me.
Right. So I'm just saying that it's a potentially a good candidate for a Bulge game that's playable. It's thoughtful in its play, and it's got. I got to the point where I was done with it, and I sold my copy, and I never actually punched the counters, and I just was rereading the rules a couple of months ago, and I bought a copy again, and I have another copy in shrink because I think my buddy and I are going to play it online on this.
Yeah, no, I really enjoyed it, and I will play that again for sure. Yeah.
Oh, so it means it's not going to get stamped and sent to me or Noble Knight?
Nope.
No,
not this week. I mean, give me next week, and I will. But no, I agree, and it's fairly easy, and it's big, covers the whole thing, but there are no small scenarios. But you can easily modify and make some small scenarios.
Well,
like
but you know what? I'm wondering too if maybe that system would do it for me, because I had such a blast playing the.
Well, it's a great system, right? I mean, those Kharkov battles and Fall Blau and all that you can sit down and punch, and that's another. What am I playing right now online? Is it Kharkov battles? Oh, dang it, I can't remember. Anyway, same deal. VCS. I call it VCS, Variable Combat System.
Sure.
Right? But it's an East Front game. I can't remember the name of it now.
Spring Prelude.
Yeah, that's it. Spring Prelude. Yeah. Or Prelude as we.
And I just got that.
Non-Americans like to say. So that's another maneuver game, man. It's really good, and it's got that unknowns about combat strength, and it's super straightforward. 20 pages of rules. Thanks for playing.
Clay always bombards us. We have in our Facebook chat. Clay is probably one of the biggest proponents of somebody saying narrative. You with your stuff you do with your tactical stuff, where you're writing your I get the emails on your stories that you're writing and stuff.
I'm sorry.
I'm no, not at all. And I'm wondering if maybe I need to take that look too at Bulge Games and try to build something or play scenarios and get the narrative there. Because like I said, I always talk about all the small little fights and all the little things that went on during the Bulge and some of the stories there. So that might be another way for me to look at it. I keep thinking to myself, man, can I get the Germans across the Meuse River? And I've not done it, and even if I did, they're not going to have nothing behind them, You know, it's like you think about Gettysburg, you think about Pickett's Charge, or you know, they punched into the front of the line. There was a little hole there, but they had nothing to fill in behind it, to exploit it. And I just feel that's, you know, even if I did get across the Meuse River, I'm not going to have nothing, you know, and then the weather's going to clear up, and it doesn't matter because every freaking Allied airplane that has freaking rocket launchers and shit on it's going to tear everything up I got anyhow. They got across that river. So maybe I just want to talk.
I think your goals are too lofty.
It may be. They may be.
I mean, I think we play it just to understand the history and to like relive the stories of the 101st or the 2nd or who knows, list them all out. The 99th, what they went through.
Oh yeah, them in the 106th, 14th Cav group.
I mean, I think those are the stories that captured me. Oh, it was what's the one that Time for Trumpets by McDonald was what got me to that book.
Right. That's a great book.
I mean, so like what's happened with me at ACW, because there's so many stories and again names, right? Like Todd did this or whatever. You know, you just like, oh my gosh, you get all these names and then you start to learn about who they are, and so you get to learn those personalities and what's going on. But now we have a McMurray here.
What's up?
He's got some Bulge games he's played. So how many times have you played Avalon Hill's Battle of the Bulge?
I was trying to think about that today. Like, probably somewhere in the neighborhood of 8 to 10 times.
So you like, and how about Bastogne, the SCS one?
The full campaign game, 4+ different scenarios, a bunch. Because I mean, for a minute there, we kept trying the different smaller scenarios, you know, over and over to see if we could get a different result. Try a different thing. Try a different thing. Try a different thing. The one Newville scenario is only one turn long. That one doesn't really count. But then there's the smaller one where you're trying to hit Warden and whatnot over to the east of Bastogne. That's a few turns long.
Yeah. So why do you play? Why do you play it so much? Why
have I played those two so much?
Is there something about the Battle of the Bulge? Just those particular games you like?
Bulge is cool. You've kind of got. I mean, the Bulge is cool. Period. Avalon Hill's Battle of the Bulge is a delightful scale of game in terms of you can sit down and play it in 3 hours. You get the whole operation done in 3 hours. It reminds me of conflict games, Overlord for like D-Day. I enjoy playing. I had a good time playing Ardennes, right? And I had a good time playing Day of Days, but sometimes I don't have, 3-4 weeks to leave something on the table and play through it. And so it's nice to be able to just hammer it out in a night or two. Bastogne's just my favorite SCS game. It's a really good balance of the system where it's got, a good number of special rules in it, but at the same time, it doesn't overload it, trying to tack on a million extra special rules. Yeah.
So I did want to ask you this question, McMurray, because I think more miniature gamers play this battle out. So why do miniature gamers play the Alamo so often? It's something you see in the miniature games. You see, there's a couple board games, but there's not that many. You see it in miniature all the time.
The Alamo.
Isn't it?
So why are they battling the Alamo? I mean, it's kind of a foregone thing, isn't it?
There's a lot. There is a lot to unpack there. Oh shit!
It's not like you just unpacked it.
First off, you've got this awkward. People call it the Carai test, right? Or whatever you want to call it, where their interpretation of how good or how accurate or how whatever period correct a game is you play Carai or you play the Alamo or you play Rourke's Drift, and you're supposed to get a historical result, which is just the biggest fucking fallacy I've ever had, because you're trying to get a game that will consistently get an extraordinary result, which is wild. That being said, that does drive miniatures gamers in games like those, like the Alamo. The Alamo is, again, kind of an interesting scale where, especially for miniatures gamers, it's kind of perfect. It's kind of that magical. It's just small enough that if you are really, really, really dedicated, you can find it.
What have you done miniatures? I know you've had to somewhere along the line, where you played a Bulge or an Ardennes scenario in miniatures.
I've got a whole bunch of Flames of War, so 15 millimeter multi-based winter stuff, as well as a couple years ago, I painted up a whole ton of 28 mil stuff.
Have you played a Bulge type scenario?
Yeah, so I played, again, a couple Chain of Command scenarios that were centered around Team de Sobry, and I don't remember which. I know some of it was, I think, the 362nd Volksgrenadier. Does that sound right?
Yeah, that's the Noville stuff, right?
Yeah. So you get Team Cherry and de Sobry, but
right.
So then with which was interesting because then you've got a bunch of dudes who are kind of bebopping around, but at the same time, like an absurd number of them have STGs, which is entertaining. And then you get with Flames of War, especially, I enjoyed on the northern end of the Bulge where you get really ad hoc U.S. armored groups, where they're pulling tanks out of junkyards and nonsense. Like, cool, that runs. Does the gun shoot? Yeah. Okay, go. And so that was really cool. That works out way better in 15 mil.
You can take any Bulge game, and you can. I want to know. So one of the field officers for the Allies were like, and I keep trying to imagine this. Well, I guess it probably does happen in some of the plays if you're playing the campaign. You can just let them extend all they want, because every Allied reinforcement, for the most part, is going to come in north and south, and you're just going to cut that bubble off. I want to say, didn't they do that to the 15th Army in Normandy after the D-Day landings, where they cut off the entire 15th Army in a pocket? I mean, any Bulge game, it seems to me that you could pretty much, you know what, let them run. Let them run as far as they can.
That was what Patton's idea for the response was: let them overextend themselves as far as they want to, and then we'll crush even more of them.
Yeah, just snip them. I mean, I guess I'm just going to have to go down the road where it's just, you know what, don't focus on the campaign. Take the little bits and pieces, find some scenarios, play some scenarios, try to get, it's nice to play a game to have the opportunity from both sides. Hey, what can Kev, I watch you do this all the time. I watched Todd do this, where you'll replay something, trying to find out, okay, is there an alternate? You're doing it right now with Race to Bastogne. Is there an alternate method? Okay, you know what? I screwed this approach up. Let's change it. Let's do it. I'm unfortunately, I'm not prone to doing that. Maybe with a computer game I am. But maybe I need to take that approach and find something with a few scenarios in it, play those scenarios. If I got, ASL is going to be a good one to do that in, which I'm getting ready to go back down the starter kit right here shortly. And just pick apart those scenarios and find out, what can I change? What can I maneuver wise? What can I restructure my force arrangement? Can I regroup, different squads, different teams, different regiments, different battalions together, and find a different approach to different scenarios? Because I know there's a lot of them out there that are fun to play over and over again. I've just not been that person to do that. I don't know why I don't have that ability.
Do any of the Band of Brothers Worthington, that I know you like that and have that, do any of them cover the Bulge? I'm trying to think if they do. They seem like they don't, but if they do, those would be easy ones to
I was going to say, is that covered in Screaming Eagles? I don't know if that's really Normandy specific or if that's 101st specific.
I think it's.
I'd have to look. They might. I want to say they do have a couple scenarios in there about that. So I've got to find something, guys. I mean, like I say, that's all I got left right there. And those are big games. Oh, well, Todd was kind enough to send me a copy of Race to Bad Stone, which I had on the table before, and maybe I need to go down that road too. But I've got to find a solution to this. All right, so let me ask a question, and I don't think I've seen anybody in the crowd say this yet. I've seen everybody talking about, stuff that they liked or they played. How about a Bulge game that you set up and you played and it just stunk? I mean, I know nobody really wants to say that, but I mean, come on.
I know somebody's response to this.
What game did you give me, Jeff?
Look at the brains working.
Jeff, what game did you give McMurray?
A Bulge game?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. That's right. You weren't on here. And I've already said that. Ardennes 2. I did not like it one little bit.
Yep, there you go.
What was the catalyst for that?
I did not like. Well, I was kind of 50-50 on the fence with the artillery in it. I think that was what. I keep wondering to myself, if I hadn't have played the original Ardennes and I just played Ardennes 2, would my opinion been different? But
the original Ardennes sucked.
See, and I liked the original Ardennes.
I'm not a huge fan of reserve markers. I like exploit. That mechanic works way better with my brain. I really enjoyed Ardennes 1 when I played that, but
do you enjoy it because it's easy for the Germans to win?
no, I just had a good time playing it. I enjoyed the Battle of the Bulge.
Because it's easy for the Germans to win, right? That game.
They were doing okay, and then I sneezed, and the 101st wound up on Elsenborn Ridge. And then I almost cried, and I put it away.
I remember that.
Yeah, real quick, we won't spend any time on this because Andrew could go on for hours. Charles says, give up Bulge and pick up some naval. That's all we're going to say about that. That's mainly for
Mark Herman. I'm going to play his big Pacific game.
Okay.
You played that yet? His big, massive.
It's a great game. I wouldn't play the campaign if I was you. Don't play the campaign, but play the operations. You play the operations; they're amazing.
I'm gonna give it a whirl. All right, so
I guess I would say
that you didn't like.
I guess I would say Deadly Woods. For some reason, I didn't go for
Deadly
that.
Woods sucks, and now it doubly sucks. Now we know who the man is.
But I tried Ardennes 2, and I got rid of that pretty quick. So I guess I didn't like that one as much, and couldn't tell you, Kev, why I didn't.
Yeah, I wasn't blown away by it, but okay, it kind of worked.
I mean, it obviously didn't work for a lot of people because I don't hear anybody playing that.
No. I mean, I think SCS has had a lot of flops that last.
It seems like it.
A lot.
Shit, now I feel like I got to play Ardennes 2. That's still a 2-mapper, though, isn't it?
Yeah,
you still got that? You didn't give it to Todd and it ended up at Nova Knight already?
No, he still has it. I think there's probably smaller scenarios in there, Andrew. You should be able to try out some mappers for that.
Maybe we can just do the ultimate, realism game, and we'll put it out in the shop mahal and play it on the big table in
the garage and wear our wool stuff. You're gonna say something next? Or
no, I was just curious about like Alan and Ross and see if they've played Bulge games that they like or don't like, and has anyone? And while we've got you, have you played any of the older SBI Quad, Ardennes Quad, or any of those old stinky old moldy?
That's what I wish I had. I never got it.
No, I mean, I tend to get something and I'll stick to it and try to play through it all. Like I said with Ardennes 44.
You're a stud. Your channel, you crush a game. You just demolish a game. It's awesome.
I try to go deep with them, and I've played them so many years. I found that I have a ton of them that are unplayed, sitting on the shelf. Shelf of Shame, yeah, it's a mile wide and long, but I'll go deep on the games itself. So with the Ardennes, like I said, I played Ardennes 44 because that's the one I got hooked on. I did play what McBurry was talking about, the old Avalon Hill one way back in the day.
Hell yeah.
It was the Battle of the Bulge, back in the 80s.
Stanley McCullough said it
before. Oops, did I lose you? Sorry.
No, you're still here.
No, sorry.
Did I lose you, or are you still there?
You're here, but maybe we're not there for you.
I think I lost.
Well, okay, I'm going to interrupt Alan here until he comes back. So Ross said he hasn't played. Like, you literally have not played. You haven't even played ASL, Bulge?
I've played some ASL. I was looking on Roar. I was trying to see if I've played enough ASL that I've definitely played some Bulge scenarios in ASL. I would have to go through my list and see, but I've never played any proper Bulge game. And that's because I'm like Alan. It was a decade and a half of ASL, some time off from wargaming generally, but then I've been on Civil War games for the past year and a half, and just now in the past month started playing Salerno 43. Very into that system. Very interesting. Big fan of Simonich's U.S. Civil War, and there's some overlap in the way I can see how he thinks about these games. So I'm excited to play Ardennes 44. I'll certainly play that.
Now, that's a perspective that I real quick though, before we go on, I need to point this out real quick. Hold on, I'm gonna go solo for a second. Richard, this is for you, buddy. Right
there it is.
Right there.
Got your calendar. Nice.
That's right. I got it. He made those calendars. Sent one for me and Mr. Wardrobe.
I don't have mine yet. Okay.
We need.
I'll end up going deep on Ardennes 44 when the time comes. Like, I just played the full campaign of Salerno 43 as the Allies. We're playing on Vassal, but immediately flipped over. I'm now playing the Germans on the defense.
This is what Ross does.
I will play that's a relatively small game. I'm going to play it until I'm sick of it, probably for the next couple months, and then move to whatever it might be, whether it's Italy 43 or go straight to Ardennes. That might be next winter. Did
you pre-order the new Ardennes, or you already have it?
I have it on pre-order after I played Salerno, and of course I missed the pre-order for Italy 43 and the reprint of Stalingrad, so I'll just pay full price for those, whatever.
Yeah. You know, a great one to get if you're into Zopbond is Ukraine 43. For me, I think is probably one of the very best Zopbond titles. It's just so interesting.
I'll end up buying them all. I played last year. I played about a year's worth of the U.S. Civil War, Simonich's game. Obsessed with it. I'm kind of less into World War II generally, but I'm getting more into it, and the Salerno game alone was like fantastic. I love
it's a great game.
Yeah.
I bought that. I didn't buy that because I didn't think I'd like that, and then I did buy it. It's set for a while, and then I played. I don't know. I enjoyed it. It's good small footprint, not hard to manage.
Yeah, and the rule book, I think it's the cleanest rendition of the rules, and there's less extraneous extra pay. By the way, in like an Ardennes 44, there's a whole bunch of bullshit in it. That's cool, but I'm officially at quota with Ardennes 44. I will never play it again. I'm done with it.
Kev, how about that right there? Have you played that TCS? That's 1/10 that's 28th Infantry Division, right?
Oh yeah, that's awesome. That was one of the very first TCS games I played. It blew my mind. I had no idea you could actually do those things. I would love to get back to that, to play the campaign, because I only played 2 or 3 small scenarios. But I got a little spun up around the axle on iconography. Iconography, is that how you say it? All the icons, the bits, the little pictures. So I couldn't keep that straight because I'd never really seen that before. That was 20 years ago. So
I set that
Crocodile Hunter.
Was it? Can you? I didn't think you could play that with the more.
Sure, you can. Yeah, you can. You can do all the old games. They have retro edits for it. You're good to go.
Iron Tide. Recency bias.
Post 1990. Well, I mean, Ardennes 44.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. If you guys want a system that is not bad, and there's multiple games in it, the Simonich 4X games, they're good games.
Yeah. I mean, pretty consistently, Ardennes 44 is up there with the top Both.
I assume he's got the same thing that runs through at least Salerno and then the U.S. Civil War and it addresses some of Jeff's issue with the like foregone conclusion issue of the kind of threshold of VPs. If you fall 5 behind or you get 5 ahead,
No,
is that not in Ardennes?
no, and that's the problem.
Okay, so you
with that
grind it
game.
out.
Yeah,
Okay.
and you once the Jabos hit, once the Air USA hits, it's and if you are not close to winning, and the only way this is me talking, and I've only played a pose, it's either 3 or 4 times.
It's a lot.
And I've taken on the Germans 3 out of the 4 times. The last time I played, I went for the city count, and unfortunately, it was way too obvious that that's what I was doing. So my opponent kind of worked it out pretty quickly. But once you get the air coming in, and these fuel issues start evolving, you're losing a division a turn basically, so that hurts. And then you have basically every attack that Germans are doing ends up being 1-to-1 or 2-to-1, and with a 1d6 table and the way he does his stuff, you're done. You're losing.
Yeah, you don't want
you're
1-to-1.
losing steps every turn, and you're not getting enough replacements. And there's some really interesting things about that Zolkon system that I really like. That game doesn't bring those things to the table. I think Holland 44 does. Ukraine 43 does. Stalingrad does a fantastic job of that. Salerno does a great job of that. But there's tricks to that system, and I'm not going to spoil it for you because you're new to it. But there's tricks to that system that once you work it out, as the defender, you can't lose. I don't think.
Interesting. Okay.
But that's just me. That's because I played it a lot.
I think that was their big first monster on the Bulge. Didn't SPI do an earlier one called Ardennes Offensive or something like that?
Which is that?
Oh yeah, there it is. Ardennes.
Oh yeah, Walked on Rhine. Yeah. That was one of the early monsters. I've had a lot of people tell me not to waste my time playing it, and I've read the rules and I got sideways with the artillery stuff. I put the maps out and everything. I kind of want to play it. A friend gave it to me. I've got it's 2 full copies in one box. But I don't know. You're the only person I know who loves it, sort of unequivocally.
Yeah, but it's not at the top of my list anymore. So
right. So I'd rather play Last Gamble or try BCS again. I will never play Type of Trumpets.
Well, and Todd, we were talking about the Last Gamble, that just the info book in it is just worth the purchase alone, from what I understand. My favorite thing on the Bulge is the military one. That's the only green book I got. I ran off with it when I left the Army from Fort Drum, and I still got it. It just ended up in my inventory.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. That's a great. So I understand you can buy all those things now.
So Kev, did you say a game that you would like? Yeah, buy this one if you want to try Bulge. Like, what would your?
Last Gamble. I would say Last Gamble if you're going to set it all up. I think because it only has a couple of small scenarios, right?
Yeah, they could use more small scenarios.
Yeah, but otherwise, I'd probably say BCS. I think. I mean, I think. But
well, what's your take on the Race for Bastogne right now? Because I know you've been grinding the daylights out of that game.
Look, I have this love-hate relationship. Well, it's not even a love-hate. I have a hate-hate relationship with GTS. I want to know why I don't like it, and I want to know why I can't like it. And I thought Race to Bastogne would be the resolution of that, and I think I'm getting close. So I'm enjoying it more second time around. I'm now on to the 17th or the 18th of December, I think. But I would not pick it as a go-to Bulge game by any means.
Really?
No. Oh gosh, no. I mean, no.
No, it's not. No, I would agree with Kevin. I like GTS. I would say I'd go, if you want to like focus on that, go to Bastogne SCS, because then you're going to get it played and you'll get it, and it's accurate. That's just too much. That's a lot of time to spend on it. And, I mean.
2 hour turns.
I think you'd get lost in the weeds, and you wouldn't understand why you didn't win.
Yes.
I do have a question about the last gamble. So I have a local guy who I've been playing. I'm actually playing my very first opposed 44, 40, whatever system. And we're playing Holland 44 because he loves it. And I'm like, sure, I'll play that. And so we're giving that a go. We're only a couple turns in. But so I've talked to him about it, and he's a long-term, he's been gaming, for 50 years, whatever, long time. And he and a local buddy or whatever, maybe on Vassal, started to try the last gamble. And he goes, it just wore us out just trying to get through the exceptions and the things and the specifics and just got kind of, so I'm just curious, like, and he's playing a lot of complex games. So
it's a lot.
Any thoughts on that? I mean,
well, it's a lot, but when you get reps in, it's like muscle memory, right?
Okay.
Same thing with GTS. Once you get the reps in and you can kind of go, I'll just roll the die and I'll work it out, right?
I got you.
Roll the die and see whether it's worthwhile going through all the DRMs. Like there's some guys I play with online that I won't play certain games with because they have to go through every DRM. And I'm like, dude, stop, roll the die, and then we can work out whether it's even worthwhile working out all the bullshit that has to go with the game. I think there's part of that with the last gamble, but it's nuances around terrain and unfortunately, even though it has big X's, it gets very crowded because it's the Bulge. And but I think the cool thing about the system is that it's even for both sides. And most of the time, like with RM44, the way the values are structured on all the American units, even when you reduce a guy, he may as well not even be reduced, right? It just means his attack power is less, but his defense never goes down. But the defense is the same. I think it's 5 on both sides. And then they've got all the this elite business and shifts and all this sort of stuff, and it all works out very well for the defender because it's the Americans. But it's a balanced combat system, and it's an interesting movement system. Okay. And then you have all the exceptions and bits and pieces that go with it being the Bulge.
Yeah.
But like I would play the high tide scenario if I was anybody. I would skip all the because the first 2 days, I guess, there's a lot of restrictions and things can't move and stuff can't go somewhere. And it's kind of time for Trumpets has got like 75,000 pages of that. God. Right? It's insane. And the setup charts are just a freaking disaster. And so but the Bulge, there's a lot of great charts in the last gamble.
A lot of charts.
There's a lot of charts that make it much, much easier to grok through your head to understand what's going on.
That's an interesting point about Bulge games. It's kind of like they're all like that. They all have exceptions for the first day or two, and it's crazy.
Well, remember, I was asking you about where was the German artillery barrage in your game in the morning, and then I realized in Wave of Terror there was not one either. Interesting point. Kev was mentioned, talking about like die roll modifiers. And Todd, I'm wondering too if maybe in the Victory in the West type games, because you're not browbeating yourself over the terrain modifiers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's a simple table of column or die roll shifts. And it's
column shift. Yeah, you're going left to right.
It's all column shifts, right? And that's what makes that game easy to play. You just run down the list, go 2 of those, 1 of those, and a box of naked lady tees, and I'm off to the races, right? That's Caddyshack.
Wait, that wasn't in my game. That wasn't in my game. Oh,
I'm already in pain because I can't play golf right now because it's too cold. So stop.
It'll be warm.
It's good. It was 80 today.
Yeah, address that there, Kev, since you played it.
Oh man, it depends on who they are, right? I mean, if you play a lot of war games, I would say you just get after it. The rules are really well done too. That's the other thing, right? So the rules are. I don't have the rule book in front of me. The rule books are clean and concise. I mean, I'm not a huge fan. I would print it off and spiral bind it because that glossy paper is annoying and the binding is difficult. But all the footnotes and historical bits are all down the bottom in fine print. It's just the rules. You can read them, look them up. It's indexed well, I believe, from what I recall.
Good index. It's a good.
Yeah, and there's a metric shit ton of options. So if you want to have future gameplay and not play the absolute historical Bulge, you've got dozens and dozens of variations that you can try that are fascinating. To me, anyway.
I'm going to address this one right here. Enemy Action Ardennes. So I got it a long time ago. I set it up, started to play it one time. I something came up and I couldn't continue with it. I took it down, and then I set it up again later, and I started to play it, and I played through a couple turns, and then I was looking at the map, and I was like, these dots are ugly.
I was waiting for it.
And it's like, I think that's why I've never bought those games from Decision, all those Beach Landing games, Tarawa and or whatever the bunch they made.
Oh, D-Day, yeah.
I stayed in, and while I was playing the Enemy Action Ardennes, I think I was playing it during the time when was the next one Kharkov? Was that the next one they were doing? Or
yeah, Kharkov.
That's why I think I set up, because I said, okay, let's jump on this so that when that East Front one comes out, I'll be ready for it. Man, I didn't even order it. I stayed away. Didn't want nothing to do with it.
I don't like the combat resolution system. It's just annoying. Put three chits in if you've got armor. Put one chit in if you've got you're in the woods. Put another chit in, and then shake them all about and pull one out. It's just kind of goofy to me. Just give me a CRT with a D10.
I play BCS with blind chit draw. I mean, I like the fact that they give you like 2 or 3 options for your activation. You can pick one, play one. Whatever. I really like. I don't know. I like the maneuver part of BCS, and that's why I think maybe last Blitzkrieg might do it for me.
Yep. Probably.
But that's going to be something that'll be on Vassal. So, Alan, you were in the middle of telling us a story before your gerbils got underfed and died.
Yeah, I got something going on with the internet here. I had to reboot and so forth and so on. No. I was just saying with Ardennes 44. A couple things I like about that is that you can play the full campaign, and then but you do have a couple options to play like the halves and the half campaigns, I'll call it, where you can do like the front end, like what Todd did with Iron Tide there, where you just played, it was just a couple days turns to get started. And one of the things I found interesting is starting the back end of it, when they're up towards Bastogne and they're up, almost to their limit, starting off there, so you don't have to worry about that schedule and timetable type of thing. And you can kind of see where they can go, if they can go, on that back end side of things, making it to the Muse or across the Muse. Because, doing the historical campaign, I never came close to, or I should say, we never came close to getting the Germans up there. But when we played the half campaign, with them already up there, it was a little bit more interesting because, you had some things already in place for the Germans to make the move. You still had all the Americans coming in and British coming in later, but there was definitely more options. And I'm thinking hearing that when you talk about Last Gamble and stuff too, that there's some different variations you could do, either the second half or go off on the side and see what happens to the north if, say, Ellesbourne fell earlier.
You said that, Al. I remember watching it was Joey. I don't remember if Joey he didn't shoot videos, but he was posting on Facebook. He was playing Hell's Fort, the Hurtgen one from Goss. And I remember he spent a lot of time breaking down his forces into the subunits and combining, whether it was infantry with anti-tank or whatever like that. And I mean, I'm talking, he had to have spent days doing that. And then I remember somebody sort of badgered him a little bit about, well, why are you doing that? And I put myself into that picture. I'm like, okay, he's really put, and I don't do this. And a couple of you guys, you do this, and I wished I did. You would think I would, from being freaking from a military background, is trying to decide, hey, what's going to work good together?
Mm-hmm.
And games that you do that in, well, obviously Squad Leader is going to be a good one to do that in, where you can mix, your ground forces up. But what Bulge games? I mean, obviously you can do it in Gauss, but do we even have any Bulge games outside of that represent combined arms really well, where you get your go ahead, Todd, say it.
So Iron Tide does, and what it does, it gives you the freedom of all the armor are battalions. Everything else is a regiment and brigade. I mean, there's exceptions, but and they've only got like 1 point or 2 points of firepower, whatever you want to call it, attack power. So they're really weak, But what they do is they add that combined arms. So what you want to do is, like, if we're going to really push here, you move your support, your tanks over, and you got your support, and you put them with these infantry divisions or infantry regiments.
Yeah.
And if you put it in each hex, you're going to get 6 shifts to the right. I mean, you're probably not going to make that happen, but you can. And they do combined. So that's combined arms, and then division integrity, as
Division integrity.
Saying, that gives you. So if you have your 2 or 3 or maybe 4 sometimes things all together, then you get another shift to the right. So to me, that was really cool. I mean, I kind of equated it to BCS, the way it has its kind of abstracted support, make some support, then they're kind of out there, which I always thought was really cool. Then you don't have to worry about hassling around with moving stuff around.
Right.
But this was a small enough game where it didn't feel cumbersome. But what is cool is it does make you think about it, because their 6 movement isn't much on the roads even. That was kind of cool too.
That represents good, because when I went to Germany, this, my first 4 years over there, we still had combat support companies before they moved us all, split us all up, and put us in headquarters units. And as a combat support company, I mean, come on, we had ground surveillance, we had mortar, we had scouts, we had engineers, we had all the different your little, what you call them, organic or inherent little units in there that you can apply. And we would get, we'll call it subbed out. We might send of our 6 scout vehicles, we might send one section of 2 vehicles out in front of a tank company, and it worked. And when the BCS system, I think they took all the things that we want to see in combined arms, and the key word you said, abstracted. They yanked it out and they put it in a simplified system. And I think the only thing people struggle with, and I know, Todd, you and I have had this discussion, is, well, how do we apply these? I mean, when and I think the thing is, and I'm wondering if a lot of people can't get about hump, if they're part of that parent formation and you've got 88s sitting in there in a support position, those 88s apply to all of those units in that parent. Maybe 1 gun went out over here, maybe 2 guns went out over there. And I think that is great, because it's just a lot less accountability, allowing you to play the game with a little more free flow in it. And BCS just does it so well. I want so much to see more and more East Front in the BCS. I think it is in my opinion, that's the elite system for East Front, I think.
To a certain size, yes.
Yeah, agree. To a certain size, right?
Yeah. But okay, so that's interesting. Last Gamble has combined arm stuff as well, but also has Time for Trumpets. So you'll get combined arm benefits with combat for sure. I had another point, but it's gone. So somebody else talk.
Oh no, we lost it.
What about me? Go ahead, Dallin. Go ahead, please.
No, I was going to say, I think that's a key point, to kind of blend, coming from the tactical side, which is all combined arms. When you get down to that level, you're mixing tanks and AT and, infantry and so forth and so on. But, that's the one thing I like with I'll say it, newer operational games. Thinking back to original Bulge, you really just had, infantry and armor, and that's it. Yeah, you maybe combined them because they're next to each other in the attack, but to actually break them down, as you just discussed, Jeff, Kev, what you were saying, I think that's great, because it gives you that sense of that tactical level. So it gives you a little bit more depth, to it. And now, you may pick the right combination, or you may not pick the right combination. And that's a real commander decision, which I like, being more tactical.
I knew damn well I had a good thing on tonight when I asked that question. Kev, wasn't it you? I want to say a few years back. It wasn't too long after I came into playing again. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I mean, wasn't a bad thing, but for some reason it sticks in my head that you're the one that brought this up. Hollering about, do freaking engineers do anything in this game? And I can't remember what game it was. Was it SCS or something?
Sounded like something I would say. After getting pissed off about either A, losing, or B, not understanding the rules, or C, playing wrong. Right. I mean, so what do these engineers do? What are they good for?
I mean, I feel that way about SCS sometimes, because it's simplified. I mean,
yeah.
Well, I mean, how far can you take? I mean, combined arms. I mean, if you think about what the capabilities are, let's get rid of the tank company. get rid of the tank platoon, get rid of the infantry company, the infantry platoons, as when you're thinking about combined arms. How deep could you possibly go with combined arms? Hey, we're hitting this river right here, and I've got bridging engineers, or I've got these engineers at boats. I've got demolition engineers. I've got little reconnaissance too. Well, I mean, how deep can you go with combined? Because I'm just trying to think, is there a game that really, really, really digs that deep into what you've got at a location?
Surprisingly, for all of its random abstractions up and down the complete food chain, GTS has bridge building and ferry enablement capabilities in Race to Bastogne, which kind of surprises me because everything else is abstract. You can't act. That's what I was going to say. In GTS, huge problem. There's really no combined arms capability. You cannot assault something with tanks and infantry. The infantry assaults, well, you can do a stack, I guess, but the infantry assaults, and then their activation is done, and then the tanks assault or fire or whatever. You have to be in a stack together to execute on that. Am I right?
I believe yes, you do have to be stacked to do it.
Right, but you don't get flanking bonuses or anything, which at a 500-meter scale, or yard or whatever it is, you would expect that and then to a turn, you would expect that if I've got units to the left of me and units to the right, there's a song there somewhere, you would get some benefit from being flanked by the enemy, even in an entrenchment. So I don't know how far you go with all that stuff. What's his face? VCS has that capability where you can say, I'm not going to use the full strength of the unit. I'm just going to use the fact that it has an armor capability and use the cadre side of the counter to give you an enhancement for the combined arms bonus, which is a nice way of getting around the stacking limits in the rules. Stuff like that. Engineers, I think, add value as well. They add a DRM or a column shift.
Screen line in the screen in BCS. That's the unless there's a Cold War or more recent game that has that ability. I don't know. I mean, there's some like I've got Mech War and some other games like that, the old SKI stuff that I can't play because I can't figure out how to do lanes of fire for opportunity fire without playing solo. I can't work that one out. I'd like to one day though.
Yeah. So you know what? Here's what you could do with Time for Trumpets. You could go and get a copy of The Bitter Woods and play The Bitter Woods, and that's Time for Trumpets at regimental and divisional scale, and Time for Trumpets is battalion and below. Same system, same combat system, basically the same movement mechanics, without all the fuss and all the bother. You could do that, and you would know what Time for Trumpets is like, just that you have 4 maps and 1,000 counters and a bunch of really ordinary rule writing.
Yeah, somebody stole my Bitter Woods box out of my apartment when I moved.
That sucks. Who would do that?
It sucks for them because I didn't have the counters in the box. They were in a plastic tray. Unfortunately, the game probably ended up in the trash when they realized they don't have the counters. It was a pretty box.
Yeah.
All right, so I've not really heard anybody really, say, what's a Bulge game you just won't play again, just not going to touch it.
Has anybody played
the Woods? You said. What'd you say, Andrew?
Has anybody played the? I think it's Compass World War II Commander. It's a series that's got that and Arnhem in it.
Oh yeah, it's fairly new. There is a DDA or a Bulge game on that.
Or Combat Commander World War II, whatever.
No, it's not Combat Commander. You were right.
Oh, the PC. It was an app, and then they turned it into a game. Right?
Yeah. Their area.
Yeah. That's a great little Bulge game. I played it on the phone or on an iPad. It's super fun. Not very realistic. It's super fun.
Oh yeah.
Hey, Scott, that's why I like to have him on here, because I know he's just going to say what it is. I mean,
what did I say? What did I say?
No, you're very to the point, and you will say what you think, and that's I wish all of us were like that all the time. Of course, I get myself in trouble.
Like, what am I going to do? Like, lie to you guys? Oh, it's probably, you might like it. It's probably a pretty good game. Should give it a chance. I mean, if it really, really sucks, and I haven't said anything really, really sucks, I'm not a fan of Time for Trumpets just because of, I've played it with Bruno. I love Bruno. Bruno is an awesome guy. And I like Bitter Woods, but Time for Trumpets is just not well developed and not well edited, and it's not his fault. The game system is great.
Look at here.
The implementation of it sucks.
Look at here.
Look at Slug and Onyx. What's going on, bro? That's Kyle, right?
Yeah, I only see the Slug Onyx name when I see his stuff on BGG. The only time I see the Slug Onyx.
Yeah.
Good to see you, Kyle. Yeah, Bitter Woods wasn't bad. I will say that's not too bad of a game to play.
Okay, so you played Time for Trumpets. You're good to go.
Yeah, was Bitter Woods Bruno's? Yeah, it was Bruno's game, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Well,
He did the Bulge. He did the Avalon Hill Bulge game, right?
Well, I remember going down here to my buddy's house down the road here. They were playing with Bruno on the weekends. And it was funny because they were playing the game on a table, Time for Trumpets, and they had Bruno would call in on the phone. And they would do it. They would play, and they would use Vassal to sort of account for where everything was. And I know they did this 2 or 3 times. From what I understand, Bruno will play the game with anybody at any time.
He's awesome. I played at a con with him. It was great fun. We had an awesome time. Because the stories that he tells while you're moving the units, you're doing exactly what the 160 did, and this battalion. But here's what happened. There was this one guy.
Yeah, that stuff's awesome.
That's so awesome, and I wish that was in the game, right? All his innate knowledge. You know, he was a weapons tester for the Army for still I think up until he was 70 or something.
Oh, really?
He tested the M1 Abrams, M1A1 Abrams in every terrain you can imagine. They took tanks up to Alaska, opened all the hatches, sat them outside for 2 days. And then they tested them, took them all the way down to Guatemala or some Nicaragua or somewhere, and did the same thing and tested them. He's fired, driven, run every weapons platform that you've probably ever sat in, Jeff.
That's pretty awesome.
He's a super freaking interesting dude. He is a great guy.
Yeah, and the struggle is though that's the struggle with knowing so much. They put it in their game, and then you're trying to play it, and you're like.
yeah.
I mean, I just was going through this historical book, right? You just showed that, Jeff, right. and Kev, and I flipped through this couple times. I haven't read it yet. I mean, this is the main reason I bought the game. But man, I just was noticing, like, Dan, he takes every division, tells you who's attached to him, what regiments are in, and then has a paragraph-long commentary on it. These guys fought in the Hurtgen. They had 1,000 new guys who were terrible, and they only had 40% of their vehicles. I mean, I'm like, this is awesome. Now those guys, Danny and Bruno, know this stuff in their brain.
Yes.
Whereas I'm going to read it and forget it as soon as I shut this thing. But this is why people like the Bulge, because there's there's not this much data on every battle. So,
well, you got to know too that Band of Brothers probably triggered a lot of people's. Oh, I need to learn about this. People probably didn't know anything about it. Now, how about this right here? So I didn't even think about this. What good? And Randy, this is, I mean, you liked it, you played it. That's awesome. I'm going to pose this question. What good would a lightweight Bulge game do you?
I mean, it's just what Andrew was just,
well, I'm asking. I'm because you know me and you know what I play. That's what I'm saying. What do you get out of a lightweight Bulge game? I mean,
fun.
Get out of here with that.
It's just a shorter game. I mean, it might be a good intro for somebody, or on the road type of thing, or just somebody who wants to kill a couple hours.
And you get the feel, that you're commanding these troops to do the thing. And that I was reading somebody talking about it, and they really like
to actually complete a game.
Yeah. How about completing a game?
That's cool.
We don't do that here, except for Andrew.
Yeah, I mean, on that vein, I mean, I wasn't going to bring this up because I think it's really lightweight. But going back to, Access and Allies put out a Bulge game that I taught my son, and we could play it in an evening, and it was kind of fun. I mean, there was once you played it 2 or 3 times, you kind of figured out what the strategy is going to be with it, and how to knock it out. but you know, it was fun. You know, when you have an 11-year-old, yeah, it's a good way to introduce it because it's got miniatures and
Yep.
you know, it's a game.
Yeah.
So yeah, the lightweight stuff can have some value just to play and get people into it. It's kind of like simple rules for Great Battles of the American Civil War.
Why would anybody play that? That's ridiculous.
Somebody's gonna have an aneurysm.
I saw that. Now, is that going to make that game actually playable for dumbasses like me? I mean,
that's what
Got
Andrew
him.
Mayer
What's
hoped.
up, Kev? Work the Wi-Fi.
Yeah, you know, we were just talking about this too last night. You know, the other night too, that where you know, I know that Alan and I know that Ross and I know that we will look at them, and we may do. You know, if I can do something that will help somebody come aboard with that, like I said, I told him Dick Whitaker browbeat me about that because I was kind of on the same boat with Stigler. Why are you doing this? We don't want that crap in this game. But you know, he lowered the boom on me about bringing more players into the system. So if it works and I can do something and shoot some video on how to play it and help somebody out, I'll be more than happy to. But me playing those rules on a regular basis, it's not gonna happen.
Jeff, you forgot your top hat and monocle to look down at the peasants.
yeah. I'm gonna stick with Herman Luttman's ACW stuff. That GCACW stuff, or whatever it's called, GBACW stuff is just not doing it. 2 days with a dude playing that game. I said that was a great time. I enjoyed your company. I'm never playing this game again.
What game did you play?
Oh, who knows?
It stuck with you that much, okay?
He sent me his Death Valley box, and we gave it away on the show. So
yeah.
He only charged me $140 for it.
Not every game is for everybody. That's for
not every game is for everybody. That's right. I'm sure there's a lot of people that love that system.
I feel like a good teacher is worth more than a redone rule set, but I understand that GMT can't control who's teaching a game or doing any of that.
Right. Well, it's like simple Great Battles for History, right? That generated its own, decades of abortive rules, modifications and adjustments and changes and complex things. So I don't know if that I ended up migrating off that and going to the full game because there was just a loss of fidelity, right? What there is in GBOH, but yeah. So I don't know what will happen with that for you guys. Good luck with all that.
So that leads to actually that leads to a good question. What from going back to the Bulge? What would be a good simple Bulge game that has fidelity for people to play?
Fidelity.
I've been divorced 3 times, so I don't know what fidelity means.
Okay, Jeff. So what? No. What do you mean by So what do you mean by fidelity, Alan?
Well, it just have the level of detail that people would feel comfortable with. It's just not rolling dice and
it's not Axis and Allies, but it's not
exactly
last gamble.
Yeah. I mean, what type of depth would we want? I mean, we're talking operational stuff here, and there's some good stuff to it, but we're saying how can we break through and what's going to be the victory? But
maybe what Randy's talking about right there with the lightweight. I mean, I don't know anything about those the 20. I mean, I know what they are.
Yeah. That's Army scale, right? I mean, that's cool. Whatever.
I mean, I don't know what I know.
The lightweight Bulge game. God, maybe one of the old quads, or
I mean, why not just Avalon Hill Battle of the Bulge? I don't know. I mean,
I would say that would be.
Okay. Well, okay, great. And when you can find those things, not paying an arm and a leg for them. I mean, Avalon Hill one.
It's cheap as shit. Usually it's like $10-20.
Yeah, but what about something newer? If somebody wants to just suddenly come, I mean.
Well, SCS Bastogne, I think, is a good one, and you could get Ardennes 2 or Ardennes, either one, right?
Yeah,
they'd be playable.
Cell game from Revolution, you can still get that.
Yeah, but if you want to play the whole Bulge, I mean, Ardennes 2, I mean, I assume it's still available. The rules weren't that hard.
Like that's difficult to play. It's not. I mean, it's SCS. It's not hard to play.
Right. I think.
And
Yeah, some of that probably is some of us who like the older SCS stuff. We're like, this isn't the same. But someone new to it, they who knows? They might be like, I don't know the difference.
I think the only way to do it is play GOS. You got to go GOS.
Amen, brother.
Just get rid of everything else and everybody just play GOS.
I mean,
I'm going to go down that road again.
I think it would bring our world and country together. So let's do it.
Then our hobby would die.
This is not a soda commercial, Todd.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's Christmas time. I was trying to be okay. Gosh, I don't know. That's a really tough question. I mean, maybe it's that. Maybe there's not enough fidelity to it. Those new games that Andrew brought up from Compass, that area game.
This is why we want Andrew to have a YouTube channel, because he plays a lot of what I like to call like the blow through games, where Andrew could sit. He'll start a game at 10 o'clock at night, and by 2 in the morning, he's played it from top to bottom and set it up again and going after it again.
Right.
That's
awesome.
So good. And I wish he had some. We get videos from him every now and then. We'll put it on the channels, but
no, I don't want him to have a channel because I don't want to, lose my 2 viewers that I get. So
hey, I keep subscribing and unsubscribing, so you feel like things are changing.
See, I used to do that every time. Like Todd and Jeff would get to a milestone, like they'd be at 2,000, they'd post in a little group chat. Oh, you 2,000, 1999.
I do that too. I do that to guys as well. Like whenever Mo's getting real close to it, rolling over to the next number, I'm like, ooh, it's number.
Yeah. Yeah, God, Kyle, you're right. The ACW does. There's a lot of systems out there. Speaking of which,
what is SK?
Starter kit, ASL.
Okay, yeah.
Campi have already decided to ink it in contract. We're going to play Army of the Heartland this year. He and I. He picked up a copy of it.
Oh yeah.
And we're going to prove the world that it's an awesome freaking game.
Oh, wow, you are so brave. That is so cool. I've looked at that thing a couple of times. It's like I had a guy offer to give me a copy of it. I was like, yeah.
Take it. Give it to me if you don't want it.
Yeah.
What is that?
It's like it's GCACW before GCACW, or maybe in the middle.
Oh yeah. You guys have talked about that.
The thing is, it's some of the missing GCACW, because it does the Kentucky campaign and the early Tennessee campaign. Yeah. Which looks really interesting on there. And I've looked at the rules. I mean, I got it. I read through part of the rules. I mean, I didn't find it too hard, but of course I'm a detail guy, GBACW, GCACW. So I know the basics on there, so it's not a big deal to do it. But I don't think it's a big deal.
Not a chance, Gray.
Yes.
Gray, not a chance.
Love it. Oh my God, FAP. Well, there are games for everybody. We're very inclusive.
That's right.
Okay, so right here, McMurray, you didn't get this Landsrath Ridge game, did you? The point-to-point thing.
No, but I've played that in miniature several times, trying to duplicate Lyle Bauk. Yeah.
I don't. I own one point-to-point game, and that's the Napoleonic Wars, because somebody gave it to me and I played it once. It was fun.
Yeah, but Landsrath Ridge is a little different though. It's that solo by
that's a solo by Thompson.
I don't.
I mean, I've heard good things about it. I mean, it's interesting because that's a good solo experience.
Well, that would be a game where you get a story out of it, I would think.
It's not a war game. Okay, it's a resource management game. It's not. It may feel like a war game, and it may have a war theme.
Yeah.
I'm not sure it's really a war game. Like, there's really not a lot of kinetic things.
I mean, he led with its resource management.
Wow, Compass is doing. They're doing.
No way, really? That's interesting.
No, aren't they doing the Victory Games Civil War?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Eric Smith's stuff.
Which is a great game too. I think it's better than the newer version myself, and I still have it. I got rid of my newer.
Ross disagrees. Yeah,
I haven't played it. I'm waiting on the reprint. I will play it. I will give it its fair shot. But
Rust has had a connection.
Yeah, you can't put dirt on Simonich U.S. Civil War.
How dare you?
A masterpiece.
I've had some friends who've really, really enjoyed that game, and I've had some other friends just go, absolutely not.
I know.
The people that have played, I have never played For the People. I've never played the Eric Lee Smith one, so I don't have the points of comparison that it drew from.
Right.
So
Well, it's like the Vietnam.
It is an incredible game.
Yeah.
I prefer the old Victory Games Vietnam over the newer one from GMT. But then again, Todd, we had this discussion about Aircourt. Of all the BCS games, I sent you Aircourt because I didn't like the big hexes for BCS.
You're very much an aesthetic person. I don't like the dots. The squares are too big. I don't like
Randy. I'm gonna go ahead and point out Randy's. This is the perfect example in what I think Kyle was saying earlier. There's different things to fit everybody's.
Yep.
And I see a lot of the guys out there that post in about these little, well, I don't say little, but lighter weight games that I just, I don't touch them. And then it's funny because I laugh at myself because I just sit here and played all 6 scenarios in the Fall Blau game, and the biggest amount of turns in one game was 6. All the rest of them were 3 and 2, and just had the freaking time of my life playing. So you're right. There's something for everybody out there. What pre-order tip, Jason? What were you talking about?
Compass stuff.
Oh. Yeah, I've never been a big Compass guy, but lately I've sure been on their bandwagon. So
right down the road from me.
Here's the best thing about Compass Games right here. Right there. New directions in gaming and big logos.
It all lines up.
Oh man. I mean, I love it. That Compass. I know right where I'm going. Sorry.
You're so wrong.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
At least they've reduced the size of the compass and the company name on the maps. That's
just make it half the box.
Yeah.
Yep, 3 Dog. That's right. When it comes out, all gaming stops.
No, good grief.
So, Kevin, you ordered a couple of copies of it, didn't you?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because it's a collectible. I'm gonna keep it for 20 years and sell it one day.
We're gonna be playing it for a good 6 months. Get a division. Join in.
Exactly.
Division.
I'm about to start January 1st. We are playing a double-blind, umpired Great Campaign to the American Civil War, the Maryland campaign, and I have the misfortune of playing Lee. So I have a whole bunch of little generals who will be executing my devious orders. Should be a lot of fun.
I mentioned that, and I thought that would be cool. I'd like to do that sometime. I know my schedule coming up, and it's not going to work. But
That's one. It's an hour a week, basically. But
it's too much for me. I'm too busy.
Oh, sorry, Pika. Look at that.
He just pulled that from above his bed. He had to go to
He looks cute. I think
Uncle Bobby.
I think it's on his ceiling.
Exactly.
It's in the shrine in the other room.
Uncle TJ's picture too.
In front of it. Usually there's a protective.
And he's got his nephew Tommy over there too.
Yeah.
Kev, are you coming up here at all this year?
Where is up here? North Carolina?
Anywhere? Gettysburg, the Valley, Bull Run. I mean, you've been up here 14 times.
Well, not this year because it's almost over, but next year, maybe. I don't know. I mean, invite me. I'll come and play with you.
October.
Oh, I ain't talking about that. Well, there you go. Set your date. October 19th. You need to be in Gettysburg.
Oh, good grief. What's happening there?
We're going to have a get together. We've been putting it out on every live stream. We're setting up October 19th as, granted, we're talking about people that would travel from away. Maybe you take a vacation, you take 3 or 4 days, you come up to Gettysburg, but we're going to be up there. I know that Ross, me, and Camp, at least, we're going to be up there at Gettysburg on the 19th with a rain out day of the 21st. And I'm going to that's a Monday and a Wednesday. I'm going to get tour guide Phil. I'm going to set him up ahead of time so that he'll spend the day with us out there and just, if anybody wants to come down and get together and hang out and do a little tour of the battlefield, that's what we're going to do.
Okay. Well, I mean, I have done it a couple of times, but to hang out with you guys, you esteemed gentlemen,
oh my God,
I would consider doing it again.
You can stand like a flamingo next to the Dan Sickles Memorial like I did.
Which I went to for the first time just because of McMurray.
You have to do the flamingo stand. It's practically required.
Guys, this is the good stuff about the Bulge. I mean, I create this stuff because the question comes into my head, am I going to stop playing Bulge games? No, not a chance in hell. Because there's while I'm not the narrative guy, like I say, Clay talks about all the time, I still do like a story, and the Bulge does present. I mean, you can just go right down the line of everything on the first couple of days, and how the ghost front or whatever you want to call it, how they just got the shit kicked out of them, and I always found that amazing over the years and years and years and years of knowing things about the Bulge, being over in Europe and just reading the stuff as a kid and as I grew into gaming and stuff about, were we really that freaking stupid that we didn't think that the potential was there? I mean, I guess you had to say, this guy did this in 1940. Is he dumb enough to do this again in 1944? And then were we dumb enough?
Apparently he was.
Yeah, apparently we were dumb enough to not think that he would do it. So, I mean, and then there was, like I say, the resilience of the Americans and what they did. Granted, there's no way I don't know anybody that would say it, that nobody would ever say that the Germans could have pulled that off. With what they had. But it's still the response, that the Americans gave. And I'm going to say it again. I can't even believe I'm going to say it, but even Monty having some very good ideas on the strategy for the northern side of that pocket were not too shabby from what I've gathered recently and reading stuff and watching some documentary stuff from people that are pretty decent. So yeah, there's always a story there for Bulge. There's plenty of games out there. I think that the one that I don't have my hands on and never got my hands on was the quad box. I'd love to get that. I think McMurray, found one time, but he found it for me online, but I never purchased it. But I think that's one that I think I would like to see and get my hands on.
Yeah, same here. I haven't played them either. I'd like to get them.
That just those old quad games SPI used to put out were just phenomenal.
Right.
I still have Army Group Sal. I think that's a great box, and I've had that 2 or 3 times. That's my Todd version of a game. I bought it 2 or 3 times.
I love it.
But yeah, I mean, come on. A lot of viewers in here tonight. Any final comments before we shut this thing off tonight on the Bulge or Ardennes? Recommendations, things to stay away from, game that you think you would get, that somebody would get enjoyment out. I know we've already talked about people coming in, new games to play, but something that you really enjoyed playing that had to do with the Battle of the Bulge, whether it's from Squad Leader to freaking Goss. Any recommendation for anybody out there at all for detail and not too hard to play?
I did like what Scott Rowland said, who's offered to teach me VCS, said, why are we talking so much about Bulge Games? Let's get going. He wants to get going right now. Scott will get you on with VCS, Last Blitzkrieg right now in Basel. Scott, I need to take you up on that.
Well, he keeps offering it to you.
I know he's going to stop eventually.
He's going to charge you.
Wait, Todd, you don't know how to play VCS? You played VCS.
I played it like 5 times. I had 5 different people tried to teach me, and I'm just like, I think that, like Jeff was saying, the biggest thing I struggle with is all the different armor types: red, hard, soft,
right.
included, not included. I have a hard time just like, what? I mean, I get all the stuff that people say, oh, this is hard to comprehend, like the blob and the crossing the stream. That stuff all makes sense to me. It's just knowing which thing has a sight on makes you stop. It's just the terminology.
Right.
Stopping,
I'm absolutely.
stopping.
Yeah.
It's just like, what? I mean, again, I just haven't understood it yet. I think what I need to do is like what happened with GTS. I need to play with a Scott or somebody a long game and just not know what I'm doing for a while, and then eventually it'll like click. I'm like, oh, okay, I get what's happening now. That's probably all I have to do.
Yeah. I'm terrified. So you're where I am with GTS, right? So that's interesting with VCS.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what it is. I want to like it, and if they come out with that Market Garden game, I think I would want to play that. Like big, I think it could be really good. It's
pretty interesting because the last year when I was up at St. Louis, we played Valley of Tears for 3 days. Right? Yeah. So I pulled out Last Blitzkrieg and I was like, I'm going to set this up. I'm going to get after it. And I'm just, because I got it down and I pulled the rule book out and looked at it and went, oh, shit. And I looked at all those counters. I was like, oh, man, no, I don't count. Do I have the intestinal fortitude to actually make this happen? And that's why I pivoted to GTS Best On.
Yeah, that's funny.
Best On. Yeah.
Ross, what's your next Battle of the Bulge game you're going to play, buddy? I know you got a whole list of them there.
I think.
I mean, I'm gonna play Ardennes 44 for sure.
Ardennes.
It'll probably be next winter, so probably a year from now we'll revisit it.
Well, he'll play it like 4 or 5 times, mind you, the entire.
When this went through my brain for this to do this stream tonight, I was telling myself, you know what? There had to be something that went on in December in the East Front that I can go play.
Something.
And just avoid the Bulge altogether. But no, that'll never happen.
I mean, you should. That'd be interesting. Like no one else is doing it. I mean, everyone else is. I'm playing the Bulge. I mean, that's what I did.
Well, yeah, but everything you would play in December of 1944 on East Front is going to have the Germans run with their tails between.
It didn't have to be 44. It can be. There's a bunch of other years. I don't know if you know that.
Oh yeah, there was a couple, wasn't there?
Sorry to be such snow.
I always count on Todd to keep me straight. So.
Yeah, way to be a dick, Todd.
Yep, that's what I do.
Good game, Kyle. Very good game. Yeah, Camp and I eventually we're going to go down that road. Maybe drag Ross along with us. But these two are they're GBACW dogs. I mean, I'd have to say even with all the stuff that that we all play. I mean, Camp's really handy with Panzer and some other stuff. And I wish I had the freaking mind trap that those two have when it comes to picking up rules. And for those of you all, if you want to get a glimpse of the depth of GBACW, just keep track with a Sound Like Thunder. Mm-hmm. They're playing Into the Woods, and and don't take this the wrong way. They're playing it at the grinding pace because they're paying attention to everything that's going on. That's another game with a lot of special rules in the early phase of that fight. But they're shooting this thing in 2 to 3 hour bursts, and it's well worth watching what him and his buddy Sean is, I think.
Yeah,
what they're doing.
Yeah, we're playing tomorrow morning, so we've been a couple weeks off, so we got to get refreshed. And
I got
20-something hours in, 4 turns in of 20 or whatever.
Wow,
it's a grind.
You're a stud, dog.
I'll be done with Into the Woods when I'm done with Into the Woods. So
hey, I know I tried to share Alan's channel, but Ross, I don't have your channel name. What's your channel name again?
Yeah, it's a Sound Like Thunder. I'll post it in here.
Yeah, I don't know if you can do links or not because it gets.
Probably not.
Oh, you can. Okay. Yeah.
All right.
If you're on here, you can do it.
You're having
find it. Just real quick, I wanted to we talked about this at the very beginning, and then Arthur was mentioning it. So the Tabletop's Edge is who we talked about at the very beginning. But I went to look at his video. He had 30 videos posted, super videos, right? Like he goes through every move of Last Blitzkrieg. Fantastic.
RVT. Don't forget RVT.
Yeah, RVT's got good stuff. But this is the guy that played it, and he tells you, like, in the first few turns, he's like, okay, I'm doing this, and this is the modifier. So he's very clear. It's very good. He only went to December 21st. So I went and looked at his 30 videos, and I looked at the very last one. And he goes, December 21st, I think I've kind of hit. I didn't watch it because, I was listening. But so he didn't make it.
Right.
I mean, he made it far, I guess. 5 days, 6 days. But which is
he does the playthrough with he talks through it step by step what he's doing with each formation he's moving. RVT analysis. He does a rules breakdown and a deep analysis on how to make things work in the game and how to use the formations and stuff. And I think he's revisiting it now too. So there's 2 guys, RVT, Robert Van Tol, and Tabletop's Edge. You want good BCS detail, along with what's his name from that does the stuff for MMP. He hasn't done anything recently. I think he did Air Corpus. He does all the rules explanations for MMP. Oh, I can't think of what his name is now. But every time they come up with a new system, he'll play. He did GTS. He did BCS.
Lee Forrester.
Yeah.
Lee Forrester, yeah.
Well, yeah, he hasn't made something in a while.
Yeah, he hasn't done that for a long time. And I was looking at his GTS stuff and got in an argument with some other guy who was commenting on my video going, oh, if you go look at Lee's videos, it'll explain everything. So I went to Lee's video and they did what Lee did. And then the guy put in the post, you're doing it wrong. I'm like, dude, fucking Lee did it this way. And then he gets on Lee's video and goes, Lee, you're doing it wrong. I'm like, okay. That's when I say, F it. I'm resetting and starting again. That's what I almost flipped the board. I was so aggravated.
Yeah,
but I appreciate the feedback from the fantastic.
Right.
viewers.
Yeah. Well, Well, okay. So we've got Ross and his buddy playing Into the Woods, GBCW. Camp and I are going to continue with our blind swords. We're also going to take on a campaign from Mark Herman's New Army of the Potomac. Once we settle down on, I'm off for 2 weeks now, so I'm starting to get a little itchy. Actually, having a little fun with that system, playing that, and of course, Mark can get you pumped up. When he was on here the other night. Todd, you're tearing down Iron Tides, and you've got the Christmas stuff going on, but I know you've got what's on your.
I'm going to try to get to Sicily, Victory in the West.
Okay. All right, Kev, where are you going over the next few days with gaming?
I have put Plex over the top of Next War Taiwan, and I'm tabling that for the moment because it's done my head in. I'm playing Race for Bastogne at the moment, and the new Neva War Games Iwo Jima, and Spring Prelude on at the moment. That's my.
I want to jump to that Spring Prelude thing too. That's a good looking game. McMurray, don't you have a big playthrough with some T-34s coming up, or did you do that?
I do. These are the Soviets for that game. I do. Right? It'll be Monday. Toddy will be playing.
Stalingrad.
Yes, a big Stalingrad game. We got a whole bunch of Germans with a few Panzer IIIs and a Marder. And I don't remember what the third one is, what the other tank is. And then we've got just a horde of 100 and something Soviets and 5 T-34s.
Fresh out of the factory.
Yeah. Well, marks and everything on them.
I'm mainly going for the chili.
That's reasonable. I can't blame you. But it should be really fun. Playing with bolt action on what'll probably be a pretty good looking 4x6 table.
Is there a particular scenario, or
what's up?
Is there a particular scenario y'all are playing, or
no? Not really. It's a kind of a learning game on a large scale. I played a game of bolt action with a couple guys locally who I haven't played with in a long time. I played bolt action with in a long time, a week or so ago, and they had a really good time and asked, "Hey, when can we do this again? And can we play, with 3-4 guys aside?" Sure. So Nord, God, this was a whole discussion. So yes, the idea is that they are tractor factory, T-34s. There's some really cool pictures of a T-34 trolling around outside the tractor factory. That's like the plate is still like rusty and you can see the brightness on the welds and shit, and where some of the older welds are starting to rust harder. The issue is if I paint a tank like that, it's only good for one thing, period. So I think most of them are not going to be. I didn't put all of the here's all the stowage from the 3D prints. I didn't put all the extra stowage on, because you can find tons of pictures like that. But so I'm thinking I might just stick with kind of the classic green, maybe whitewash one of them, or, whitewash on top one of the turrets, something like that. So it looks like somebody got yelled at, like, "Hey, Ivan, who gives a shit? Just get it off the line. It doesn't even have an optic. It doesn't have optics on it."
Point blank in the city.
Exactly. Yeah. That's really cool. I think it's in Beaver's book where he talks about reading, accounts of Soviet tankers who are quite literally sighting down the bore of the main gun on a T-34 to put direct fire into like houses and basements that the Germans were in. And then they'd slam around home, close the bore, fire, and then go to the next one, which is
good stuff.
Wild as shit. And I can't imagine that actually working almost at all. But just in terms of looking down a T-34 76 barrel, your field of view, even 100 yards away, is going to be like 10 feet around.
Talk about focus.
If that.
Well, no, I mean, it's not that. It's just acquiring the target inside of that thing between a loader and or I'm
Well,
sorry, a
Makes
commander.
you wonder why the Russians built their commander's hatches opening to the front.
Well, it's just one of those. Again, those two guys trying to talk while neither one of them is remotely in a situation where they feel like moving or doing their job or anything like that, and they are probably just screaming at each other at the same time. That'd be wild. Yeah, Scott, that's what I was talking about with Flames of War. Absolutely.
All right, let's close this thing out. So let's just plain and simple, guys. There's guys and gals that are out there. Appreciate all the bodies that came on here tonight, all the input from the chat and everything. It was great stuff, guys. I mean, I wish I could have read every note and responded to every note. I know the guys did the best they could to pick up a lot of stuff. And if we missed anything from some of you guys, my apologies. You can always send a comment. I know my email is also on the YouTube channel. If you want to, you can probably get hold of any one of these guys in any manner of methods. But the plain and simple truth is just because I posed a question about I'm throwing all my Bulge games in the trash, that's bullshit. There's a game for everybody out there dealing with the Ardennes, whatever, 40 or 44, especially with the Bulge. There's easy play stuff. There's depth stuff. There's, all the way down to squad level stuff that you can play. A lot of Bulge games at battalion and regiment level out there, a lot of operational type stuff. It's just a plain and simple fact that maneuver in the Ardennes, breakout, running all the way to the river just was not going to happen no matter what you did, because even if you did have the weather environment to do it, the Allies were just going to slaughter your ass with airplanes. So get out there, play your Bulge games, play the ones you like. And Kyle said it earlier, just look up on yourself. If you got one you haven't played, pull it down and play it. See what you think of it. You might find a hidden gem in there. My hidden gem was Bastogne or Bust. Old game. Turned out to be a fun game to play. Small footprint. Get them out and play them. Kev, thanks for coming on here tonight. Ross, Alan, Todd, McMurray, appreciate it. I kind of wish Mo would have had time. He's probably doing hockey tonight. Hope everybody has a great Christmas. Look for all of us to play something new here. I'm sure you'll see videos posted or live streams posted. And everybody have a great New Year's too. And we'll see y'all next year where we're planning our end of year show. And we'll talk to y'all later. See ya.
See ya.
Bye, everyone.
Hey, guys. Good to